Have you ever wondered about the dark night of the soul symptoms? What they are and how they can affect you? Today, we are about to journey into the heart of this mystery, exploring not just the symptoms, but their broader implications. The dark night of the soul, a phrase that has been etched into our collective consciousness for centuries, elicits a sense of intrigue and apprehension. It teeters on the precipice of our understanding, its depth unfathomable, its nature elusive. What are these symptoms really? Are they merely a manifestation of our minds, our fears and insecurities given form? Or do they carry a deeper significance, a profound message from our subconscious, perhaps even a spiritual signal? This age-old question, laced with intrigue and mystery, has captivated the minds of scholars and philosophers alike. We'll delve into the fertile ground of theories and debates, sifting the solid facts from the ethereal fiction. Journey with us as we navigate through the labyrinth of the human psyche, traversing the thin line between reality and imagination. We will dive into the sea of ancient wisdom and contemporary understanding, hoping to uncover truths hidden beneath the surface. Our quest might lead us to unexpected revelations, challenging our preconceived notions, and perhaps bringing forth an enlightening perspective. So fasten your seatbelts. Let's dive deep into the mystery that is the dark night of the soul. The first symptom of the dark night of the soul is an overwhelming feeling of despair and hopelessness. In this stage of spiritual evolution, you could feel like you're confined within a seemingly endless tunnel, devoid of any guiding light or promising end. Feelings of entrapment and suffocation may consume you, further deepening the sense of despair. Your mind might sway towards questioning the fundamental aspects of your life, such as your existence, your purpose on this earth, and your self-worth. This potentially paralyzing feeling of despair has the capacity to induce an immense shift in your perspective. It can warp your perception, skewing the way you interpret yourself and the environment around you. You might feel like you're in the heart of a raging tempest, helpless and vulnerable, with the full weight of the world pressing relentlessly upon you. You could feel like there's no refuge, no safe haven where you can seek shelter from this emotional turmoil. You might sense a growing disconnection from the people you care about, an increasing detachment from the activities that used to enthuse you, and a diminishing interest in pastimes that previously ignited your joy. You could find yourself slowly disassociating from cherished relationships, passion projects, and joyful activities. This disconnection and detachment can further deepen feelings of despair and isolation, making the world around you seem relentlessly bleak. However, it's critical to remind yourself that these feelings of despair and hopelessness are not indicative of any personal weakness. Rather, they're of a more profound, deeper spiritual transformation that's occurring within you. This process entails dismantling of previously held belief systems, a challenging yet necessary breaking down of the ego. It's a journey that requires immense courage and strength as you navigate through the discomfort and emerge from the other side transformed. Despair and hopelessness can feel crippling, but it's important to remember that they are just symptoms of a deeper spiritual process. It's important to remind yourself that these painful experiences are signposts on the path to a more enlightened state of being. They are not indicative of failure, but rather, they are testimonies of resilience, transformation, and spiritual growth. The second symptom is a profound sense of loss or disconnection from the divine. This sensation can be as vast and consuming as standing alone in the heart of an expansive, desolate desert, where no presence or sign of the divine is visible. It's akin to staring into a mirror and being confronted by a reflection that seems foreign and unrecognizable, causing you to question the very core of who you once believed you were. This symptom carries a potency that leaves you grappling with the very pillars of your faith, your beliefs, and even your existence. It feels as though you're navigating through a fog with your spiritual compass becoming faint, or as if the divine, which you've come to rely on, has mysteriously turned its back on you, without explanation. In the face of this disconnection, you may feel as if you've been abandoned, as if you're drifting aimlessly in an of spiritual solitude, lost and alone. The feeling of abandonment that accompanies this disconnection can be overwhelming, leaving you feeling cast adrift in a vast spiritual wasteland, desperately seeking a connection that seems to have vanished. This profound sense of disconnection doesn't just affect your spiritual journey, it seeps into every facet of your being, influencing your everyday life. It leaves you feeling detached, hollow, and unfulfilled. It's not just feeling of being lost, but a profound sensation of emptiness that can consume your thoughts and actions, leaving you feeling spiritually adrift and disconnected from the divine presence you once felt so acutely. Despite the discomfort and pain that this disconnection brings, it's important to remember that this is an integral part of the journey. It's a part of the soul's voyage through the darkness, a necessary chapter in your spiritual story. The feeling of disconnection can be deeply unsettling, but it's a crucial part of the dark night of the soul. The third symptom is an intense inner turmoil and confusion. Imagine for a moment a tempest brewing within the confines of own mind, an internal hurricane of thoughts and feelings that you seem to have no control over. This symptom is one that can feel like you're lost at sea, with each wave of emotion pulling you under and pushing you back up again, leaving you gasping for air. You might find yourself questioning your reality, your very existence. It could feel as if the world you is shrouded in a thick fog and you're navigating blindly, with no compass to guide you. You might find yourself starting to question your core beliefs, the set of principles and values you once held close to your heart. They may start to lose their significance, their meaning. It's as if everything you've ever learned, everything you've ever known, is being put under the microscope and scrutinized. You're left drifting in a vast ocean of uncertainty, with no land in sight. During this period, bouts of self-doubt may frequent your thoughts, leaving you wondering if you're on the right path or if you've made the right decisions in life. It's a challenging phase, a test of your and emotional resilience. But remember that this isn't a sign of failure or weakness. It's a stage in your journey of self-exploration and growth, a necessary process to unearth your true potential. This upheaval, this state of confusion, is not indicative of an impending doom. Quite the contrary. It's a signal that you're on the of a remarkable transformation. You're shedding away the layers of your old self, peeling off the burdens of the past, making way for the new. It's a process that is as beautiful as it is painful. This chaos, this disarray within you, is the metaphorical chrysalis from which your new self will emerge, stronger and wiser. Inner turmoil and confusion can be distressing, but they are often signs of a profound spiritual transformation. The fourth symptom is a feeling of being stuck or trapped in one's life or spiritual journey. This sensation, often disheartening, can feel much like being lost in an expansive, intricate labyrinth. The walls of this perceived maze rise high, obscuring your vision. You can't see the path ahead, let alone the end of the journey. This labyrinth seems to stretch out in all directions, its twists and turns leading you back to the same spot over and over again. This sensation can make you feel as though you're stuck in a constant loop, unable to break free from the monotonous cycle. You might be running, sprinting, or even crawling, but it feels as though you're not making any progress, but merely going in circles. It can sometimes feel like an unending game of snakes and ladders, where every time you're close to reaching the top, you slide back to square one. The life you once had, the dreams you've been chasing, the goals you've set for yourself, they all seem distant, as if they were stars in the night sky that you could only gaze at but never touch. It can feel as though an unseen force has pressed a pause button on your life, halting progress and leaving you stranded in the middle of nowhere. But despite the frustration and despair, it's crucial to remember that feeling stuck isn't a punishment or a curse. It's merely a phase, a part of the journey, a chapter in your book of life. It's a call to introspection and to delve deeper into your consciousness. It beckons you to question your beliefs, to challenge your perceptions and assumptions, and to explore the unknown territories of your mind. This phase, however challenging it might seem, is a time for patience, a time for unwavering faith. It's a time when you must trust in the process and believe in the journey. Just like seed buried in the darkness of the soil, you too are in the process of blooming. It might seem like you're trapped in the darkness, but remember, it's always darkest before dawn. Feeling stuck can be frustrating, but it's often a sign that a breakthrough is on the horizon. This discomfort, this confusion, this feeling of being stuck can very well be the precursor to a significant change, a breakthrough that can alter the course of your spiritual journey. Now that we've explored the symptoms of the dark night of the soul, let's summarize what we've learned. To start with, we examined in depth the overwhelming feeling of lost disconnection that accompanies this phase. This sensation embodies an intense feeling of feeling displaced in the world. It's as though you are a stranger, lost and wandering aimlessly in a land that appears eerily familiar yet is undeniably alien. Not knowing which way to go, you're left feeling helpless and stranded, cast adrift in a vast sea of uncertainty and confusion. Next, we ventured into the second symptom, the harsh inner conflict. This signifies a fierce inner battle, a terrifying war waged between your old self, the person you once were, and the emerging new self, the person you are becoming. This clash results in emotional and mental chaos, triggering upheaval that can turn your world upside down and leave you grappling for a sense of stability in the midst of the storm. Moving on, we delved into the third symptom, the overwhelming sensation of emptiness. This does not merely represent a physical or emotional void, but rather a spiritual one. It's akin to standing on the brink of a vast, gaping chasm, peering into the abyss of nothingness, and feeling the abyss, with its chilling, empty gaze, stare right back at you. This feeling can be both terrifying and mesmerizing, a paradoxical blend of fear and fascination. Next, we unveiled the fourth symptom, the loss of spiritual comfort. This can feel as if all the spiritual practices and beliefs you once held dear, those that once brought comfort and solace, are now devoid of meaning and significance. They seem like empty rituals, devoid of the spiritual essence that once imbued them with power and purpose. This loss can leave you feeling bereft and spiritually adrift, with nothing to hold on to. Each symptom signifies a milestone on the journey of spiritual evolution. They are not to be feared, but rather embraced as integral components of the transformative progression known as the dark night of the soul. They are akin to the stages of development a caterpillar goes through in its chrysalis before emerging as a butterfly. Remember, the dark night of the soul is not a punishment, but a path to deeper spiritual understanding and growth.